Hello Christchurch London kids, my name is Liam.
My name's Jessie.
And what are we going to make today?
Hot cross buns, yay!
Yeah, we're going to make hot cross buns because it is Easter and they are great fun to make and hopefully not too hard. So we hope you enjoy learning with us. Should we get going?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got all our ingredients here. Can you tell us what we've got?
We've got flour, milk, butter, and yeast, and salt, mixed spice, mixed fruit, and sugar, orange, egg.
Fantastic. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take all of our lovely dried fruit here, and what have we got? We've got some
Raisins, some sultanas, some
mixed peel,
and some cranberries.
Yeah, and you can put in whatever dry fruit you want, and then we are going to put some boiling water, really hot water over the top, be careful, and we're just going to leave that for a while, and it's going to soak up and it will make all the dried fruit go nice and plump and lovely.
Yeah.
Next we are going to melt the butter and heat the milk a little bit, and we're going to do that in a saucepan, so you can put the butter in there. That's it, and I'll pour in the milk at the same time. Great, and you're going to melt that really gently just until all the butter has melted, and then you're going to leave it to cool for about a minute. So while the milk and butter is cooling, we're going to put all the other ingredients into here. So we've got the flour, the yeast, the sugar, the salt and the mixed spice. I've got 2 teaspoons of yeast. If you just got one of those 7-gram sachets, that's totally fine. Otherwise about sort of 10 grams or 2 teaspoons is perfect. So shall we put it all in and mix it together? Let's go for it. Oh, all over me. That is all nicely stirred in. And so now we're going to add in the orange zest. So you need to grate this in. You probably need an adult to help you a little bit, but I think you can have a go as well, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try.
You're great at doing it.
I'm great at doing it. I'm great at doing it.
Yeah.
Is that a joke?
No.
I'm great at... She doesn't get it.
You're good at it, Dad.
Okay, nearly all in.
Oh!
Fall off. You okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Good.
I'm funny.
Okay, now we're going to keep the rest of the orange because you're going to need the juice from that a little bit later. But now I think it's time just to mix all of that back in.
Yep, I'll do that.
You do that. Oh. Don't worry too much if it goes everywhere. That's all fine. Okay, does that smell lovely?
It smells orange.
It smells of orange and spices. It's going to be lovely. So next what you need to do is you need to drain the fruit and try and get rid of almost all of the water, and you'll see that the fruit is nice and plump, and then we're going to pop that in there as well. Okay, so now we're going to add in our lovely dried fruit and then also the milk and the butter as well. So do you want to pop that in and I'll go and get the milk and butter?
Yeah. I don't know if this looks true, but I'm going to say that some hot cross buns are made plain, like just bread cut into shape with crosses on it.
It's not true at all.
Oh.
You're just making things up, aren't you?
No.
Okay, so we're also going to put the egg in here as well. So should we crack this together?
Yeah.
Should we hold hands? Ready?
Yeah.
And there we go. Try not to get any shell in there. And do you want to start mixing that in together?
Well, that is a bit hard. I'm just going to poke the egg.
You're going to poke the egg. Okay, I'll do it for you.
That's funny staring.
So now that's all mixed together, we're going to get our hands dirty. So we're going to roll up our sleeves a little bit.
I don't need to.
No, you don't need to. And we are going to get rid of this spoon and we're going to mix it all in by hand until all of the flour has disappeared. And don't worry that there's still some on the work surface. That's going to get in there as well. So do you want to get your hands in there? No, you don't like this bit. Okay, I'll do it. Don't say that. Okay, so hopefully your dough looks something like that, and it's probably a little bit sticky, but now we're going to knead it. And what you probably want to do is get a bit of extra flour and put some on the work surface. Obviously Jessie has done some for us already, but I think we'll get a little bit more, and then that just stops it getting too sticky. And don't worry that it's really sticky right now, because when we knead it, it's going to come together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just scatter that like that. Push that away. And we're going to tip this out onto the surface. Oh, look at that, it's so sticky.
I wanted this one.
And you want to make sure that you get it all out. So if you've got a bread scraper or something, that can be really good. I'll go and get mine.
Or a hot cross bun scraper.
A hot cross bun scraper. Do you think there's such a thing as a hot cross bun scraper?
Yeah.
So now we are going to knead this, and it's really sticky at the moment, but that's going to change when we do it. And there are lots of different ways to knead it, so you do however it works for you. Some people like to kind of use the bottom of their hand and stretch it out like that, and then bring it back on top of itself. And then you might want to turn it around and do it again, and keep doing it like that. That's how you like doing it, isn't it? Yeah. Another way to do it is to pick it up like this, let it dangle down a bit, pop the bottom down, and then fold it over the top like that. So you go.
And then turn it around. Like a
That's it. So you slap it down, fold it over. Pick it up, slap it down, fold it over. And if your hands get too sticky, just get a little bit more flour, but try not to get too much. So we're going to knead this for about 10 minutes, so make sure that you all have a go, and just try however you like. Just kind of punch it, move it around, all sorts of things, and hopefully you'll find that it'll get less and less sticky as you go for it. So, your turn.
I'll do that.
Put one hand there, hold onto the bottom with this hand, that's it, and then take it and push that bit with that hand. That's it. And then put it back on top of itself and fold it over. Yeah?
And
And we'll turn it like that and do it again. Okay, so hold that bit there. Take this bit of your hand. Push it down. What did you say? So after about 10 minutes, you should have a ball that looks something like that. And it's got obviously all the knobbly bits and the fruit, but apart from that, it's probably not that sticky, and hopefully it's quite smooth. You can keep poking the bits of fruit in that have escaped. So what we're going to do now, all the bits of dough, yeah, we'll pop those in. So what we're going to do is we're going to shape it into a ball like this. There we go, that's a nice ball. You love doing that, you can do it as well. Great, and then we're going to put this into a bowl, and we're going to cover it with a tea towel and leave it for about an hour, maybe about an hour and a half, until it has doubled in size because of the yeast. And if your house is a little bit cold, it might take a bit longer. And if your house is really cold, what you could do is you could put a cup of boiling water in the microwave, don't turn it on, and you can put the bowl in there with it, and the steam just makes it a little bit warmer, which will help it grow a bit faster. Yeah. So come back in about an hour or an hour and a half when it's doubled in size, and then we'll do the next bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been about an hour, and hopefully your dough has more or less doubled in size like ours has. There we go. Don't worry if it takes a little bit longer, an hour and a half or so, that's totally fine. Does it smell nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells yummy. So now what we're going to do is we are going to divide this up, and we're going to shape it into our buns, and this is your favourite bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
First of all, put a little bit of flour on our work surface. So I'll do a little bit like that. Not too much, because you don't want to get loads of flour on it. Do you want to pop a bit there?
Yeah.
Perfect. And now we are going to tip this out on top of the flour, like this. There we go. And we're going to knead it for about 30 seconds, just to make it deflate a little bit and get rid of some of the big air bubbles. So we're just going to press it down a little bit. Do you want to do that?
Yeah. It's less sticky now.
It is less sticky, isn't it?
Really less sticky.
That's great. So I'm just going to fold it on top of itself a little bit, like this.
Yeah, that's basically my favourite bit.
That's your favourite bit? Okay, do you want to try it?
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. And now we are going to divide this up into 15 pieces.
It might be 15 or it might be more.
No, it's going to be 15 pieces. That will give us 3 rows of 5 buns, which is 15. We're going to put a little bit more flour on the surface, again not too much, and start off by taking your bit of dough, take it like this, and just pop it down and press it down so it's flat a little bit.
But not too much.
No, and then take one bit of it and fold it into the middle, like that. And then the next bit,
round.
that's it, keep going around in a circle until you've got a piece roughly like this. And you'll see it's a bit of a mess on there, but it's a bit smoother on the other side. And then what we're going to do is this. We're going to put it down with the messy side on the surface, and then you need to get your hand into a kind of claw shape. Can you do a claw shape like that? Rawr. Okay, and then you put it over the top and you swirl it round and round, and hopefully it should go into a bit of a smooth ball, as long as you don't have too much flour on the surface. And if you find it difficult doing it on the surface, you can do it in your hand like this. So watch, you put your hand over the top and you go round in a circle, and it should go into a tight ball like that. Now what you need is you need your baking tray with some paper on it. I've got that here. And when we make them into the balls, we're going to pop them on this tray in 3 rows of 5. So I'll take this one and pop that there.
This one's done?
That's good. I'm just going to tighten that up a little bit. So Jessie is really good at doing the first bit, and then often I do the bit where you tighten it up because that's a little bit harder.
Well, I've done it and then that finishes it up.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's go for it.
But once I did it perfect.
Oh, you do it really well. You're very good. Okay, so now you should have all of them laid out on your tray like this. Try and make sure they're spaced out pretty evenly, but you want to leave a gap in between because we're going to leave them again for another hour and they're going to grow out a little bit bigger. And then we cook them, they're going to grow even bigger. So make sure you've got a bit of a gap. They're not going to grow quite that big, are they?
No.
Not quite. So,
the pie so big.
yeah. So we're going to cover this now with the tea towel again. Make sure it's a clean tea towel. Otherwise you get dirt all over your buns. And we're going to leave it for about an hour again, and they should grow a little bit. They might not quite double in size, but we'll come back in 1 hour. So it's been about an hour and the buns are growing nicely, and it's time to make the crosses. Yeah, so do you know why we have crosses on hot cross buns?
Yeah, because Steve has died on one and he died on one fast and to show us that he loves us and to care about all the things that are bad in the world.
That's right, he died on the cross to show us how much he loved us and to deal with all the bad stuff in the world. And that's what we remember at Easter. So we're going to make some crosses on the top of the buns, and we're going to do that with some flour and some water. So I've got 40 grams of flour in here, and I've got, lots of water. We need about 3 tablespoons of water. There's a little pinch of salt in there as well. You may need a bit more water, or you may need a bit less. It's kind of hard to say, but you want to make a paste that you're able to pipe on the top of the buns. Now, some people don't really like the taste of the crosses. I don't really like it that much. You like it?
Yeah.
You do. So we're going to do the crosses. If you don't like it very much, then what you can do is you can just bake them without, and then once they're cooled down afterwards, you can put the crosses on with some icing instead, because I think that tastes nicer. But we're going to do it the proper traditional way. So we're going to take the water, and we're going to put about 3 tablespoons in here. So I'm going to pour that in, and I'm going to get you to mix it, Jay.
Yeah.
There we go.
That looks a bit like an island.
It does look like an island, yeah. Why don't you mix the island in? Or like an iceberg, yeah, you're right. So you're going to mix that in. You might need to add a bit more than 3 tablespoons. You want it to be a paste that's kind of runny like this, but not too sloppy, because you want it to stay in shape. And what we're going to do is we are going to pipe these on top of the buns. So I'm going to get the buns. There they are. Look at those. You can see they've grown a bit, and so they're a bit closer to each other. And I'm going to get... I've got a piping bag, and so I'm going to pipe these on on the buns in lines. If you don't have a piping bag, that's fine. You can make your own one with some greaseproof paper, or you can just do it with a spoon. Often we just do it with a spoon and you sort of drizzle and try and get it in a line. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look perfect because it's all about having the fun.
Yeah.
So should we give this a go?
Yeah.
So they are now ready to go in the oven, and we're going to put in the oven for about 20 minutes to 22 minutes, something like that, and you'll see that they go nice and brown on the top, and then we'll get them out and do the glaze. Okay, so while the buns are in the oven, we are going to make the glaze for the top, and I really like the flavour of oranges. Do you like oranges?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to make a glaze with...
And I really like painting it.
You really like painting it, yeah. So we're going to use the orange from earlier, which we zested, and I just squeezed out all the orange juice into here, which is nice and yummy. And what we're going to do is we've got 1 tablespoon of caster sugar, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of the yummy orange juice into that. So, do you want to do that?
Yeah. I can see that the hot cross buns are getting fast and fast and fast.
Yeah, they're looking nice and brown, and they're growing nice and tall.
And they're sticking together.
Yeah, they are. They're sticking together. So that's why you've left some space, so that when they grow in the oven, they get closer together and they make one big sheet of hot cross buns. So we've stirred this now until it's all dissolved, and we've got this lovely kind of orangey, sugary liquid. And then when the buns come out of the oven, we're going to put them onto a cooling rack, and I'll probably leave the paper underneath to catch all the icing. And then we're going to use a brush, and we're going to brush all over the top with this lovely orange glaze, and then we're going to leave them to cool down.
I want to do all of the brushing.
You can do all of the brushing.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's been 20 minutes and we have taken the buns out of the oven, and they are nice and brown and they've all stuck together, and you can still see all the crosses, really lovely.
And if you tap them...
Yeah, what do they sound like? They're a little bit hollow, aren't they?
Yeah.
They sound good. So they are ready now to put the glaze on, which will make them nice and sticky and orangey, and this is Jessie's favourite bit, so I'm going to let you do all the painting. Here we go. So here we go, we finished putting the glaze on them, and they look lovely, and they're not quite ready to eat yet because they're too hot, so you've got to let them cool down a little bit. And then when they're cool, you can eat them however you want, really. What's your favourite way to eat them?
My favourite way to eat them is cut up and then not toasted and put butter on it.
Yeah, I like it like that as well. But then after a day or so, they're quite nice when they're toasted and you have lots of butter on them. But I hope that you enjoy them however you like. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this. I hope you enjoy making them together. And what else would you like to say?
Happy Easter, everyone. Yay!
Happy Easter.